Welcome to the Sleazy Podcast, the podcast about anything and everything, but mostly TV and movies. And now it's time to get sleazy.
Don't look at me with those crazy eyes.
Calm it down. Calm it down.
I will escort you out of the studio, sir.
Gonna put me in handcuffs too.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Sleazy Podcast, the world-renowned Sleazy Podcast, I might add. This is episode 187. So, we've made it this far. Why stop, right?
Can't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't
Won't
stop.
stop.
I mean, we probably could, but
Get it. At this point, I'm just documenting our weekly, bi-weekly lives and
the fall of American civilization.
the fall of American civilization. And, you know, one day people will look back on this show and they'll be like, wow, these guys were pretty cool.
Mhm.
I always imagine that, like in 100 years or 1,000 years, like future Ken Burns will find this podcast and it'll be like one of the only ones that survive.
Yeah.
So we'll be like, everything they know of the past will be from us or something.
Yeah. They'll be like, man, these guys really loved shitty movies. Well,
We don't-
one of them anyways.
Yeah, me.
We don't know what happened in June of the year of our Lord 2024, but Hawk 2, it was everywhere.
Hawk 2.
Spit on that thing.
That girl's famous now.
Yeah, she
She
is.
blew the fuck up.
Yeah, she is.
All right. So
Do you
tonight,
think you ever watched Gladiator by then either?
Sir, in 1,000 years, it won't matter.
so we have a very special guest tonight. He's back, Chuckles.
Hey, how's it going?
For those of you that don't know, the laugh at the beginning of the show, hold on, I'll play it for you right now. Let me get on the right screen here for that noise, and we'll do
Iconic.
the best laugh ever,
It
ever,
is.
hands down. No one will ever have a better laugh than you.
No one.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Need to
so
go-
glad you're here, Chuckles.
Need to give him like a new name, like the Joy Spreader or something.
The joy spreader.
I can remember like when I first got that video and I clipped the sound of the laugh. I'd be having a bad day and I'd just hit play and I'd just instantly be happy.
We used to play that over the PA.
Oh yeah, we used to play it over the intercom at the store. So
See, I didn't know that. That's funny.
and but I'm also joined by, you know, my number 2 here, Mr. PBS,
Howdy.
the man who's never watched Gladiator and doesn't plan on watching it.
Does not care.
But-
I've already got my 1-star review ready. Wanna watch it.
But he's also a film expert too. So
I wish.
you need to get on the TikTok and
Ticky tock.
start doing your little reviews, like giving your thoughts about it,
Mhm.
like everybody else does.
Yeah.
Blow the F up. And then, of course, the disappointing
Hi.
Robzilla.
Hello.
His cough has returned, ladies and gentlemen.
We're gonna get that on his
Goddamn
tombstone.
lungs.
The disappointment.
His cough went away for like a good 6 months. You know, it's like after the surgery he had when he got, what was it? You got your thyroid removed.
Yeah.
It was gone for a good 6 months.
It's just I get a cold and then like when I'm over, I just get a fucking cough that won't go away.
Post nasal drip will get you every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something's going on there.
Something.
What are you doing over there? What's so important on your phone?
Oh no.
Would you care to share with the class, Mr. Chuckles?
Thank you.
I can see that would happen in high school. Oh no, thank you. You need.
Can
to
you imagine, like, you know, kids nowadays, they're probably watching porn while they're in class and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Fucking savages.
Looking at the nudes that Becky sent them last night, and you know, the teacher's like, "Would you care to share with the whole class?" And then imagine they have to, you know, get up and turn the phone
I
around.
assure you, the whole class has seen it already.
Yeah.
It's actually the OnlyFans account from the teacher who just asked him that question.
Thank God we made it through an era where we didn't have.
Hot teachers.
Well, I mean, we had a couple, but well, maybe not in high school. Middle school we did.
Yeah.
But you know, we didn't have cell phones, and I just can't imagine the temptation to do stupid shit with the cell phone, you know, and then put it out there.
I don't know
Yeah.
how schools let cell phones be in school so much. I think it's just, you know, you can't stop it. But
Yeah, well, what was it? The some school, like the largest school district in California or second largest, they just banned cell phones for next school year.
Yeah.
How are you going to enforce that?
yeah, I think DeWine is trying to do something like that in Ohio.
Yeah, good luck, Mike.
I get
DeWine.
it. Like, I don't think kids should have their phones like in class. You want to have it like in between classes or something, fine.
Yeah. Why is it out on the table? You know,
I
when you're
don't-
in class, but
What's his name? I think is it Ron DeSantis in Florida passed that where like 15 or 16 years old kids down there can't have a Facebook account.
Something like that.
yeah, something. Yeah.
Of course, back in our day, you weren't supposed to be on Facebook if you were under like 18 or something anyway. Or
Yeah.
15
Well,
or
I think
16.
they like changed it to, obviously get people
Right.
hooked. And
Give us your
if
data.
you're 15 and up, you can get an account with your parents' permission.
But like, people always use that. They use the same excuse they use at the movies. Like, what if I need to get a hold of you? Like, they're at school. Like, call the school.
Yeah.
Sure about that? You sure about
I'm pretty
that?
sure about that.
You sure about that?
Motherfuckers
yeah.
are skipping.
Just saying. Are you sure about that?
Yes.
All right. So this is what's on the docket for the episode tonight. We're going to talk about Donald Sutherland. Then we're going to go on to Whatchu Watchin. And then we're going to talk about the, newest season of The Boys. That'll be for Robzilla and I, because Mr. PBS just can't bring himself to watch television shows for some reason.
Terrible.
But he'll watch a 3-hour movie from 1921.
Yes.
That's why he kills on trivia.
And then to close the show out, we're going to hop on the TikTok trend here, and we're going to do our top 15 favorite movies. Each of us here. So that reminds me, I have to pull up my spreadsheet I made.
Oh, you made a spread.
Well, just writing it down.
Yeah,
Nothing. I'm not going to share it on the screen.
I made a list on Letterboxd for
Yeah.
myself, so I can move them up.
That's a good idea.
That way you can put it in. They can kind of move them up and down.
I
Okay.
always forget that, you can always do stuff like that.
Yeah, I forget that Letterboxd has those features. I'm so used to just reviewing movies and stuff.
Yeah, I like the list. Lists are good.
I didn't find a Donald Sutherland article, but I guess I can just pull one up real quick.
I think Variety usually does pretty good obituary articles.
Well, I'm going to Google Donald Sutherland Variety, and there it goes. One day ago.
I came across a video of him eating lunch today. I think he was on Conan O'Brien. I heard his voice like, oh, he was remember the curator for the museum in The Simpsons for
Oh, that one
Must Be the
episode.
town founder. Well, yeah, that popped on my head.
What's
That's
his name?
a pretty good episode.
Shoot, I can see it. The Simpsons character. The noblest in spirit emboldens the smallest man, or whatever.
All right. Donald Sutherland, star of MASH, Clute, and Hunger Games, dies at 88. Donald Sutherland, the tall, lean, and long-faced Canadian actor who became a countercultural icon with such films as The Dirty Dozen, MASH, Clute, and Don't Look Now, and who subsequently enjoyed a prolific and wide-ranging career in the films, including Ordinary People, Without Limits, and the Hunger Games films, died Thursday in Miami after a long illness, CAA confirmed. He was 88. It's a good life.
It's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. If you were to tell me I'm going to make it to 88, I'm like,
I'd probably just die now. Like, oh,
Yeah.
God, please no.
yeah.
Please.
It's when you run out onto the highway and lay down. For over a half century, the Emmy and Golden Globe winning actor who received an honorary Oscar in 2017 memorably played villains, anti-heroes, romantic leads, and mentor figures. His profile increased in the past decade with his supporting role as the evil President Snow in the Hunger Games franchise.
I kind of hate how every obituary basically has the Hunger Games in it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I guess it's his latest big movie. So.
Yeah. I'll never remember him from that shitty movie. Most recently, he appeared as Judge Parker on the series Lawman Bass Reeves and in the Swimming with Sharks series in 2022. His other recent reoccurring roles, including the series Undoing and Trust, in which he played J. Paul Getty and features Ad Astra, and the Burnt Orange Heresy. Sutherland won a supporting actor Emmy for HBO's Citizen X in 1995. I forgot about that's about the first serial killer in Russia.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a decent little like HBO movie. And was also nominated in 2006 for the Lifetime miniseries Human Trafficking. Oh, Donald went to Lifetime movies.
I mean, yeah, you got to pay the bills.
I guess so. After what Sutherland called a meandering little career, including roles in low-budget horror picks like 1963's Castle of the Living Dead. Something tells me you've seen that.
I have to look that one up.
Okay. In 1965's Die, Die, My Darling. Have you seen that one?
I've heard of that one, I think.
Okay.
Oh wow.
He landed a part as one of the bottom 6 in 1967's The Dirty Dozen.
That is a classic for you.
Oh, yeah. Sutherland told The Guardian in 2005 that he originally had one line in the film until Clint Walker refused to play a scene requiring him to impersonate a general. According to Sutherland, director Robert Aldrich, who didn't know his name, suddenly turned to him and said, "You, with the big ears, you do it." Wow. If that doesn't get you pumped up to do a scene.
Yeah.
Smart Alecky role was a perfect fit for Sutherland, whose wolfish sideways smile and boyish charm caught the attention of producer Ingo Preminger, who cast him as the anti-authoritarian surgeon captain Hawkeye Pierce in 1970s comedy smash hit MASH. MASH turned Sutherland and co-star Elliot Gould, who played Captain Trapper John, into major stars. But the tradition-bound actors had trouble adjusting to director Robert Altman's improvisation. I can't say it. Improvisation, an often chaotic approach, according to Sutherland. Altman tried to fire him during the shoot, but Preminger held firm. Okay. In 1976 Playboy interview, Altman gave a different view, recalling that Sutherland loved his directorial style and his improvisation was profound. Altman said he's a hell of an actor. Hell of an actor. Improvisation. I don't know why I'm having such a
It's okay.
tongue tie
We
with
gotcha.
that.
We got you.
You didn't say shit, bitch.
What?
Sutherland also co-starred with Gold in 1971's inspired Alan Arkin-helmed black comedy Little Murders, and again in director Irvin Kershner's 1974 misfire Spies. Jesus, this thing's going on forever. What a career.
Yep.
Do we need to keep going with this? I mean, let's see here. Yeah, this is a long article. I'm not going to read this whole thing. He had a great career. Let's just say that. Well, and we'll just go to IMDb here. But I mean, we can all agree his one shining achievement in life is Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the chops that Kiefer Sutherland has, no one can catch him, All right. Yeah, that iconic beard too.
Oh yeah.
Like, so what's the movie you think of when you hear Donald Sutherland?
For me, it's the Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
When you're Donald Sutherland, for me.
How about you?
The thing is, like, I don't think of like one movie. Like
You think of the whole career going.
Yeah, like the guy's just been in so much. Like Zilla said, you can think of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I just rewatched Clute last night. Clute's great.
You give it a
Clute.
too.
Clute.
What did I say? Was I saying
No, you said
Clut?
Clute. You
I
said
said
right.
Clute? Okay.
What was for some reason I always kind of remember him in the Puppet Masters from the 90s.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was in the Puppet
Not a
Masters.
great movie, but he's got a good role in that.
That movie was always on when I had
Yeah.
like nothing to do.
Yeah, always.
And you just turned sci-fi on and Puppet Masters was on.
He played sort of the bad guy in Outbreak.
Yeah.
Beardless.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when I think of Donald Sutherland, I just kind of think a little bit of everything.
Think of a little bit of it.
Well,
Well,
of course, like you said, the Dirty Dozen's another classic that he's in. He's in I think it's Where Eagles Dare with Clint Eastwood.
Mhm.
He plays kind of like the hippie tank commander.
when I think of Donald Sutherland, I think of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, too.
I mean, that's what I think of Donald Sutherland
That's,
as.
that's probably second for me after Invasion.
He was so good in that too.
He was.
He had that little handkerchief that he was always covering his mouth with.
Yeah.
Was he like in charge of Buffy or something?
He was like her mentor, basically.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
I've seen that movie for a long time.
Yeah, he
Trained
taught her
her
how to
for a
hunt
long time.
vampires, pretty much.
His name was Merrick.
Yeah, I mean, his credits just go on and on and on.
He was in Beer Fest uncredited.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm
I
like
think that's the
not remembering.
that's
that.
the clip that everybody's sharing because in Beer Fest his
Yeah.
character dies.
Yeah.
And he leaves like the video saying goodbye and they like put the beer up or whatever.
He's in Space Cowboys as well.
Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, 1965.
I may have seen that one.
You may have seen that one. The World 10 Times Over. I know you've seen that.
remember that he did an old movie with Gene Wilder. It was like I think about the Revolutionary War. I remember seeing. I can't remember the name of it, but
Do you think he was listening to that song that we were playing before we hit the record button when he was on his deathbed? Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
No, he was in. I think he was in Lockup, where Stallone is in prison, and he plays like the warden who won't let him out or
Oh.
Yeah,
whatever.
that was like in the 80s, I think.
$1 Billion Brain, 1967. Okay. I see what you're working with, Donald.
Yep, Warden Drumgool.
Let's get up to his more
Lockup.
recent stuff here. Oh, Backdraft. He was in that.
I haven't seen Backdraft. That was everywhere, like in the 90s.
good movie.
Oh, yeah.
It came out,
Yeah, I remember. I've
All
seen
Brothers
parts
was
of
good.
it.
I remember watching it, but it's been so long
Yeah,
since I've seen it.
I
But
mean,
it
I
was-
couldn't tell you much about it.
It was always on TNT. Know that.
I think it's Stephen Baldwin and Kurt Russell's in it.
Kurt
Yeah.
Russell. Yep.
Yeah, doesn't somebody falls and dies in a fire or something like
it's-
that?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
one of the main characters.
JFK. He was in JFK. Wow,
I haven't seen
1991.
that one in a while. Yeah, I think he's got like a small role somewhere in the movie. Is like the guy who's telling Kevin Costner or something what's really going on.
I
think-
really want to watch that.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I remember like it being on when I was little,
Yeah.
but I don't remember it like
I
that.
remember watching it when I was younger because I was into like Kennedy assassination stuff.
Yeah,
It's like the Titanic and dinosaurs. You got to be a little boy into dinosaurs, Titanic, and presidential assassination.
hell yeah, yeah.
He was in Fallen too.
Disclosure, Citizen X. Yeah, Citizen X is a really solid movie.
Yeah.
I like Disclosure. It's a nice 90s thriller.
Here goes your Simpsons credit. Hollis Hurlbut, Hollow Point, Time to Kill.
I don't think I've ever watched that all the way through. I've seen like most of it.
So he was in. Oh, that's Fallen with
Denzel.
Denzel. Yeah.
And a Virus with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh yeah.
He was the captain.
Behind the Mask. Space Cowboys. That was a good movie.
That was a fun movie.
Never
Yeah.
seen that one either.
Yeah.
Seen pieces of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood, Tommy Lee Jones.
What's his name? Garner, James Garner.
Yeah, James
Yeah.
Gordon.
Talking to the mic so they can.
James Garner.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did a voice for Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
People hated that movie.
I couldn't tell you. The Italian Job. I remember him in that. Salem's Lot miniseries. Frankenstein. Okay.
I almost watched Salem's Lot, the actual movie. It's like a few weeks ago. It was like 3 hours long. It was like
I really want to watch it, but
I think it's kind of hard to find.
yeah, I couldn't find it on anything.
Yeah, I got the Blu-ray DVD back in the day, but yeah, it's not streaming. I don't think. I just saw an article about
I'm
it.
ready for the series, the new one.
Yeah, you'll have to bring that over. Is it a series or a movie?
Well, the series they're redoing the series.
Okay, I thought they were doing a
Come on,
movie.
They've got a movie done.
Okay.
It's supposed to be premiering sometime. this
Yeah, what are
year.
you talking about, Rob?
Nah, I thought it was a series. My
Yeah,
fault.
Shut the fuck up.
Get the
I'm just
fuck.
kidding you, buddy.
He's not kidding. Shut the
He's
fuck up.
not kidding.
No, I really would like you to talk. There's the Beer Fest. Okay, Days of Darkness. But you get the point. He had a lot of roles, and when you saw him, you're like, "There's Donald."
Actor.
Exactly. Hey, there's Donald.
Yep. I feel like
He was good in Animal House.
Yep. Animal House.
I feel like I saw him in something with Kiefer recently. Guess I didn't.
They're in one movie together. Oh, they're both in A Time to Kill,
Yeah, maybe.
but they're
that's
not. I
it.
don't know if I haven't seen all the others. So Kiefer's like the guy who kills the girl or something, and he's somebody else.
Yeah.
I thought they did a couple, not many, but just a couple.
All right. So, rest in peace, Donald Sutherland. Very sad to see him go, but he's 88. People die. That's what happens. But
88's a good run.
yeah, it's a good run, man. You
Very good.
can't be sad about it. You got his family got great memories with him, hopefully, and he obviously lived a great life. Looking at these credits here.
When you got all those movies, you kind of live forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
I mean, look at that face. You'll never forget that face. So we'll put it up on the screen here. You'll never forget this face. Boom. All right. So we're going to move on to a returning segment here we haven't done in a long time. But what you watching? What you watching, Mr. PBS? He's got the list ready to go.
Not particularly. I'll throw up the letterbox diary here and see what I got. The
Shut up, fat ass.
ooh, I've been talking to you about it. The one series I've been kind of getting into is Evil. That just had its last season or
I love that show
season
so
and a half
much.
kind of premiere on Paramount Plus. So I've been working. I don't like to binge series. I do like 2 episodes a day. That way they last a little bit.
Yeah.
So I've made it all the way through the first 2 seasons, which are on Netflix and Paramount Plus. I like Paramount Plus has commercials in them, so I watched it on Netflix, so I didn't have to see commercials.
I don't have commercials on my Paramount
Well,
Plus.
I'm not paying that ad-free
You
revenue.
should, sir.
They're not that big of a deal anyway. So I'm up to season 3 on that. That's been a pretty solid show. I really like the first season. Second season, not so much. It felt like one of those interim seasons where like, well, we've got this idea that we'll get to next season, but we got to get there. And so second season, I was really kind of meh about, but season 3 has been good so far. And I haven't actually heard or seen too many reviews for how the final season's gone, but
This is it. The final seasons.
Yeah.
It's not all aired yet, I don't think. Because
it may be out. I think
there's some out, but it airs weekly. So
okay.
yeah.
I think they did because they dropped like 2 shortened seasons or something like that.
Yeah.
As seasons 4 and 5 or whatever.
Well, there's only 3 in there.
I think there's like 4 and 5 now, but they're like,
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There was
okay.
3, and then they released the
20.
new one.
Yeah, 4. So maybe it's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
Like I said,
Season 4.
I think they did like 2 short seasons or something like that just to kind of finish it up.
Yeah, wait till you get to this new season. It's on point.
Yeah.
I'm digging it. Yeah.
See if there's any movies in here. I've watched, like I said, I mentioned Clute. Clute's kind of a classic, kind of paranoid thriller kind of movie with Donald Sutherland in it and Jane Fonda. Definitely going to watch. I was in sort of a horny movies mode because I watched Love Lies Bleeding. I'm interested for you guys to see that.
I want to watch that.
That's
Did
with
you
Kristen
rent it?
Stewart,
Yeah, I
right?
just rented it for like $6 or whatever,
Kristen Stewart, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
like $5.99 on whatever.
So you enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. It's probably maybe my favorite movie of the year so far. And
I mean, look at that cover. How could you not like it?
it's pretty solid. I think it stumbles a little bit toward the end, and maybe doesn't like 100% nail the ending, but it was totally my jam all the way through it. You know, I got my Kristen Stewart kind of crush.
You got a thing for her, don't you?
The kind of sweatier and cheaper she looks, just the hotter she gets.
Was this movie kind of based on a true story at all?
I don't think so.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
But she's in it. She's like she basically runs this kind of like gym out in the middle of nowhere, and her dad is Ed Harris, and he's like kind of like a gun. I think they're near the border because
Okay.
her dad's kind of a gun runner in Texas.
It looks like they're somewhere where it's very hot.
it's a very sweaty movie.
Yeah.
Sweaty.
And then what's her name?
Yeah, I forget her name.
Katie O'Brien.
There you go.
She's the bodybuilder, and she's coming through town. She's on her way to a bodybuilding competition, and they kind of meet and fall in love, and shit happens.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I said, it's really good. It's very.
Is it pretty graphic?
Yeah. It's got
Okay.
some moments. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm gonna have to watch this after we get done recording.
It's good. I almost watched it. I rented it for like 48 hours. Almost got around to watching it twice, but didn't quite make it. And everybody's good in it. Like I say, it's a nice, hot, sweaty, kind of horny movie. It's bringing horny back. And so because of that, it kind of got me in the mood. I rewatched or maybe watched for the first time all the way through Wild Things
Okay.
with Matt Dillon and
Oh yeah,
Denise
Yeah,
Richards,
yeah.
Megan and
I watched that probably about this time last year.
Neff
It was,
Campbell.
it was
and
amazing.
Kevin Bacon.
Right? It was amazing during that time of a growing time for the boys, I guess.
Well, yeah, we were
I still
What, in
remember
middle
watching that when
school?
They started
Yeah.
going at it. I was like, then that
Yeah.
chick was like, whoa, man.
that was a pretty graphic movie for
Yeah.
back in the day.
It was, yeah.
young.
I think they started talking
Denise
about it on the
Richards.
news too for a while.
Oh yeah, it was all over how between that and like Showgirls, I always remember those talking about those movies, how graphic they were.
So that
I
was
just remember everybody like, you got to watch it for the pool scene. The
That's
pool
it.
scene.
Wild Things at least had better acting, obviously, than Showgirls.
Yeah. I don't think Showgirls is as bad of a movie as everybody makes it out to be, but
I think the thing about Showgirls is it's supposed to be over the top.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, like it's obviously got a little bit of a cult following nowadays.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, for the time, yeah, people probably bashed it, but it's a very like 90s movie for its time.
Yeah, Elizabeth Berkley never bounced back from that. Did
No, she didn't.
Mm-mm.
It kind of
Crushed
crushed her career. Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of into Wild Things. It's not a great movie or anything, but I like the '90s vibes.
Yeah.
It lives on that. I watched another one that I need you guys to watch soon because I need to figure out if I'm being overly harsh on this. But I watched a movie called Eden Lake.
That's the one I gotta get around. I saved it. I gotta watch it.
It's funny when I was at Muzz's one night after Korg's, we were, having dinner and I dropped off the Nerdco cash bag and stuff. And we were talking. I was like, oh, PBS just recommended this movie because we were going to watch a movie. He was like, I'm not really feeling it, but I'll watch it later.
Mm.
And then he texted me back a couple days later and he was like, that movie fucking sucked.
I wouldn't go that far, but it definitely, I was a little disappointed in it. It starring Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Kelly Riley from Yellowstone. Just looking like kind of super hot.
Her name's Jenny in the movie.
Jenny.
And basically they go to like this spot that Michael Fassbender knows it's like a quarry, and they're going to fill it in and build like a luxury apartment homes on it.
Okay.
And they run into some British youths who kind of start to terrorize them. The reason I watched it because it's always showing up on lists of like feel bad movies or bleak movies.
Yeah.
And it is, I don't know if it quite deserved, it doesn't earn its bleakness is kind of what I said. So it's worth a watch. But like the longer it goes on, the more I'm kind of like, I wish it was better.
It can be a little bit shorter.
Like I say, some people we know rated it like 3.5, 4 stars on Letterboxd, and some didn't. So I'm kind of like, I need to know if I'm totally off base here.
Because I know I flipping through something, I saw like the cover. I was like, that's the movie Mr. PS wanted us to watch.
If only Muzz could remember his password for Letterboxd, we would know just how bad the movie is.
Shoot, just start a new one at this point.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I told him. I was like, just make a new one.
But part of the thing about that is Eden Lake was directed by James Watkins, and I believe he's doing the remake of Speak No Evil.
Okay.
And I watched the original Speak No Evil not too long ago, and it's another one that's pretty good but doesn't quite nail the landing.
Was that Portuguese or Spanish?
It's I thought it was like Norwegian or Denmark or Sweden,
I just can't believe it because that came out 2022 or 2021, and it's getting the English version basically, United States version.
James McAvoy, and it was like I say, it was
which he'll nail it.
It's another one that it kind of got to the ending. I'm like, oh, okay, that's the ending. So I don't think they can do that same ending in an American version or a British version, whatever it's going to be. So that's another one I'm curious for you guys to watch at some point and let me know what you think of that one. I rewatched Virtuosity.
Oh, I love that movie.
With Denzel and Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe was killing it in that movie.
I remember, when I was younger, my mom would take us to the drive-ins, and we would go for the first movie. My mom would fall asleep, and I'd sit there and watch like the second movie, and then the first movie again, and then it'd be like 6:00 in the morning. And they turn the projectors off, and I'm like, "Mom, we need to go home." And I remember Virtuosity was like playing after like Mortal Kombat one year.
Yeah.
So I watched all those movies back to back.
But yeah, that was I hadn't seen this one since like renting it on VHS back in the 90s. And it was really fun. It's kind of I think I watched it because people were talking about like the Matrix, and how the Matrix kind of took over like cyberspace movies in 99.
AI
but,
and all
but
that.
yeah, but before that you had like Virtuosity, you had hackers and all that. And then like I say, when Matrix came along, like everybody just kind of copied the Matrix. So I was kind of in the mood to revisit some of that stuff. And it was a really solid, fun movie. I liked it quite a bit.
Oh, Hackers was so good. You are not zero.
Anything else on the list here?
That's kind of what I've watched recently. Kind of like you, I was getting ready to do it, and you kind of beat me to it. I started rewatching some of the original Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah,
I got the box set at home of the first 4 or 5, and they're all. For me, none of them quite measure up to the first one, but the first one's pretty good, and the rest of them are kind of worth a watch.
Yeah, the first one is definitely like the standard, that for the Planet of the Apes movies, even the new movies, like the first one's still the best. Right. But like after that, they just progressively go down a little bit, and it's like like, how did they even make the fourth one?
Right.
Because like, we know that they blow the planet up again or whatever, and then the others make it out, but they time travel back,
Right.
and then they die, and it's like, well, how did you make the fourth one? It's just ridiculous. So you can definitely tell that 4 and 5 were, the cash grabs, I guess you could say.
Well, it just goes to show like how much they didn't really care about like continuity.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that. Like back in the 70s, or even like the slashers in the 80s and 90s, like, oh, we'll make another one. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, they got away. We thought they were dead.
Just make a little segment 5 minutes
Right.
in, and we're good.
Let me just throw in a couple more real quick. I finally got around to Bodies.
Oh, what'd you think of that?
I liked that one.
Yeah, it's a decent little flick.
I gave it 3.5. It was kind of
Was there
Is that on
a proper
Netflix?
amount of bodies in it?
yes.
Yes.
There was actually more than 3, I think. So the title's actually misleading.
Like the ending, it ends, and you're just like, like
What's it about?
These friends are kind of it's about these 2 girls just started dating, and the one girl invites her to go meet her friends at like one of them's parents' mansion or something, and they're all kind of spoiled rich kids, and they get together, and they're all doing drugs and hanging out and drinking, and I think there's like a hurricane coming by or something, so like all the power goes out at some point, and they're playing a game called Bodies, where somebody plays a murderer and somebody plays dead, and then somebody ends up really dying, and then they kind of like it just kind of like all hell breaks loose about, did you do it, who did it, and they kind of start like turning on each other. It's pretty good. I think it's on Netflix right now,
Yeah, Netflix. Yeah, I have it saved.
but I was into it.
he was into it.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
He dug it.
And I thought I had one more on here. Oh yeah, I watched Dark Harvest. I think that's on Amazon.
Yeah, I did too.
And I only ended up giving it like a 3 stars, but for the most part it was kind of like right up my alley. It's set in like the 50s.
It's like an alternate 50s.
Yeah. Well, it's maybe 50s, 60s, because it's kind of supposed to be a Vietnam story. And like the idea is that there's this monster out in the cornfields, and every year the kids have to go kill it.
What'd you say this was again?
Dark Harvest.
Dark Harvest. Okay. What's this on?
I believe it's on Prime.
It's on Prime.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
And so the idea is the creature is going to come, and it has to make it to the town square or something, and the kids have to kill it. And if you kill it, your family's rich. Basically, you get to you get a new. The kid gets it. It's usually, I think it's all boys. The boy gets a new car. The family gets a house in like the good part of town.
He's like the champion of that year of the harvest, basically.
Yeah.
Shit, I'd be out there like the villain from Spider-Man.
And
What's the one? Craven the Hunter.
Yeah.
I'd be out there like Craven the Hunter.
And
Right.
it's very it's very Stephen King-ish.
Yeah.
The whole
and
premise.
even the creature's very Pumpkinhead
Pumpkinhead-ish,
vibe.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's another one that it's got like all the elements of something I should like, but just kind of like the longer it goes on, it just doesn't quite nail it.
Yeah.
But that might be one worth checking out.
All right, Zilla, come on. Let's hear all these Asian movies.
And
I
anime.
did watch a couple of Asian ones because I think it was, you sent me one and I couldn't find it because it wasn't on Amazon Prime. So I found another one, which is basically like based off a video game. Buzz might know what it is, but it's called the Bikinis Samurai Squad. It's something I can't pronounce the first name. It's god awful. It's just so bad.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
I can tell you. Look, I know I watch shitty movies. I'll let you know it's shitty.
Yes, you will.
So I've been watching, I watch a lot of these TikTokers who do horror movie reviews and like a lot of Tubi ones on Shudder. So I've been watching those. And also we're talking about, I watched Monkey Man that came on Peacock.
What a disappointment.
It was okay.
What a disappointment.
I think you gave it 2. I gave it 2.5.
Yeah, I gave it a 2. It was ridiculous.
I was gonna try to watch it, but I don't have Peacock, and to rent it, it's still like the $20 rent. I'm like, I'm not going for that.
Yeah.
Fuck
don't do
that. They need
Yeah,
to
I
show
wouldn't
that
do it.
movie for free.
I watched one that a lot of people like called Baghead. It basically like a shitty version of Talk to Me, but there's a couple of like creepy moments to it. And it was interesting. So, I mean, it wasn't terrible.
I'm kind of curious about that one. I heard some decent reviews.
Yeah, it's not bad. I've got around watching Transformers Rise of the Beast because I never watched it. It's your typical Transformers movie, 90s style, which is fine. So I gave it a 3 because I still have fun with it. Let me see here. I watched the new shark movie Under Paris.
Oh, I couldn't watch it.
Couldn't watch it.
It's unwatchable.
The last half hour, I swear to God, they took a director from the Fast and Furious and made it. It's like the most outrageous like shark shit I've ever seen.
I got 15 minutes into it and then I fell asleep And then I woke up like halfway through it and I was like, this is stupid. And I just turned it off and went to bed.
I mean, there's a couple cool parts, but then it just gets, it's outrageous. It's like, it gets, like I say, it gets super crazy. Like it's a Fast and Furious movie. It gets absolutely ridiculous. Like the last like 15, 20 minutes.
I had the same problem with that as I did with Atlas. I put it on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I just can't make myself press the start button. I'm just sitting there watching the preview. I'm just like,
You break out a cold sweat and start shaking.
Right, I just can't do it.
Yeah. I was like, I had enough of that movie. I was like, it's time to wrap this up for the night.
I did check out the new documentary on Hulu called Perfect Wife, the mysterious disappearance of Sherry Papien. That was interesting. I don't even remember hearing about this abduction one. It was 2015 or 16.
Yeah, I can't recall hearing about that.
It's only 3 episodes, like 44 minutes piece. But I mean, it's interesting.
Look, how are we supposed to keep all these true crime documentaries and all that separated in our heads anymore? There's so many.
It all blurs together at this point.
Back in my day, all you had to do was watch Unsolved Mysteries and keep that one in.
I saw it was like a stand-up or something. I think I was like going through TikTok and this guy was like talking about how the serial killer rates have like dropped dramatically over the years. Mm-hmm. And he was like, this is not good news, people. He was like, our true crime documentaries are going to disappear if there isn't some more killers going.
And I ended up watching, what else did I watch? The Poughkeepsie tapes. It's like found footage, like a lot of, it's super creepy. It's just very.
Of what? Found footage of what?
Basically, it's like a found footage of this guy who's a serial killer who like.
Oh, shit. And it's real?
No, it's not real.
Oh, it's just a movie.
Yeah, it's a found footage film, but like
I thought it was like some documentary with found footage of a serial killer. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. But but there's a couple parts to like, like kind of like what the fuck. But it's okay, but it's super.
That one's been on my watch list.
Yeah, it's super weird, but not even weird, but it's really disturbing.
Okay.
So, but definitely check it out. It's worth a check out. So, and then there's a lot of shows I put on that series I want to start, but they're like 6-8 episodes and an hour a piece. So there's one on there.
He says it like he's busy or something.
Well, I'm not busy anymore. So
you were never busy.
Taking care of the dog.
Yeah, you were never busy. You taking care of the dog. You sat there and watched the dog die.
Pretty much.
That was your job, to sit there and watch the dog struggle.
And that's still tough.
Yeah. Okay. Rob says it's tough.
We're a hospice nurse, sir.
Yeah, you're a hospice
I was
for
a hospice
animals.
nurse for the dog. That's basically my title.
Robzilla's doggy hospice.
In a couple of weeks, he's gonna have another. I can't come out, guys. We adopted a dying dog. This dog has cancer.
He's gonna be like Ewan McGregor in Dr. Sleep. Like, I just know when the dog's about to go.
It's called The Shining.
That's messed up.
You got anything else on your list?
No. I just then, like I said, there's one that just came out called Daydreams and Nightmares. It's like basically almost like a I think it's like an Asian style Black Mirror.
Okay,
that's what it is. So I'm gonna check that out. And
you've seen that pop up on Netflix or whatever.
In Netflix, yeah. So I'll check that out.
All right. So I guess it's my turn.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see if I can outdo you here.
Oh, you can outdo me. It's no problem. I got shitty movies.
So I checked out the escape room movies.
Yeah, I saw you watch both of those.
Yeah.
Is it more than that, or is it?
There's two. There's two.
They want to make a third one, but I don't think it's.
I can't remember if there was two or.
Muzz and I watched them the day I was over there for dinner. They're okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
not bad.
the first one I gave 3 stars. The second one I gave 2.5. And the second one picks up like right after the first one.
I got the remember they were kind of trying to be like a Saw franchise. But
yeah. I watched Hitman, Glen Powell. That was really good. We talked about that on the last show. Yeah. Bad Boys for Life. Yeah. Yeah, that was the third one. I'd never seen it, and the new one's out. Not that I've been going to the theater. I've been so goddamn busy. But I didn't like it, man. I didn't care for it as much as I liked the first 2 back in the day.
I don't think I've ever seen the second one all the way through.
The second one was good, I remember. So
yeah,
I remember watching the first one a bunch back in the day. I went to see that one in the theater.
Yeah, the first one's a classic. I mean, that's prime Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. I mean, it's good.
Everybody.
Then, what's her face? Tia
Leone.
Yeah, she was really good in it. She was so hot back in the day. She's still acting, I thought, isn't she?
She was in like a series.
Wasn't she in like
not too long ago?
something where she was like a Secretary of
Yeah.
State or something like that? Yeah.
Or like Madam President or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah, something
Was she
like
married
that.
to Jim Carrey back in the day?
No, you're thinking of Holly
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Was that the chick from Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
that. Tay Leone was married to, or maybe is still married to
David
Mulder, David Duchovny.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Then I watched Monkey Man. Just could barely finish it. I mean, it just was not into it.
Yeah, I got a
And
lot
it
of,
was Madam Secretary for Tia Leone for
Yeah.
the series.
got a lot of mixed reviews on Monkey Man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as they like when they were like, you got to watch this movie. It's the next great action movie. Blah blah blah. No, it's not. No, it's not. Not even close.
That's one of those ones where like a lot of the movie people I follow kind of rated it lower,
Yeah,
but like the non-movie people kind of liked it more.
yeah. No, I just was not interested in the Monkey Man
Culture or
yeah, whatever the fuck you want to
mid
call it.
history.
Like it just was it was cheesy. And,
like it's not bad, but I felt like it was no point having it in the film.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm trying to say it should have just been a Netflix movie.
Well, yeah, it should just been
Jordan Peele was
should
wrong
just
on
been a
this one.
simple like revenge movie instead of doing all
yeah,
that
instead of making it about this like
political and all
yeah,
this stuff.
it was just it just didn't work. Just put it
That's
that
kind
way.
of the gist of what I get. It just didn't work.
It just didn't work. I watched Holes the other night.
Never watched that one.
Didn't care for it.
Didn't care
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, didn't care for it. I don't know if I would have liked it back in the day if I would have watched
feel like
it.
you
That's
probably
the one
would've.
with like Shia LaBeouf or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
I
green
feel
that
like
day.
if I'd had seen that as a kid, I would have maybe liked it a little bit more. But
I remember reading the book or something like back in middle school before the movie came out.
the only like I think, in my opinion, the only redeeming thing about that movie is when he's telling the story, or she's telling the story about her grandfather making her dig holes, and he's like, "Keep on digging." She's like, "I don't want to dig anymore, Grandpa," and he's like, "It's too damn bad."
It's like all the TikTok ones.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
So I mean, like, that was cool seeing that. But I mean, the Shining thing that I've been watching, you know, like the prime, you know, viewing experience I've had over the past couple weeks is Dark Matter on Apple Plus TV.
That's why you heard you say.
Wow, you guys, like the finale is next Wednesday, so go ahead and rent. You know, just look at it as renting it for a month. $7.99 on Apple Plus, and you can watch these all in a week. I mean, I think they're like an hour a piece or 45 minutes a piece. But man, this is just really good sci-fi. And I mean, I can't say too much about it without giving it away, but it's about parallel universes. So if that interests you, I mean, you should go for it, you know, interests you. Sorry. I just can't speak tonight. I don't know what my deal is. But yeah, Dark Matter. Let me pull this up, dude, because
It's got Joel Egerton, Jennifer Connelly.
dude, it is good. I gotta say, Jennifer Connelly's age, man. She's really skinny nowadays.
Yeah.
So this is only one season.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was like multiple right now.
No, it just came out this year.
Okay.
So I don't know how they're gonna make another season of this, but
I'm thinking of All Mankind because they're on like their fourth or fifth.
yeah,
right?
yeah. That should be wrapping up.
Oh, it is.
I would
Okay.
think soon. Yeah, this is it right here. So this is what it'll look like here. But you recognize these two people here. But a man is abducted into an alternate version of his life. Amid the mind-bending landscape of lives he could have lived, he embarks on a harrowing journey to get back to his true family and save them from a most terrifying foe, himself. I mean,
Dun, dun, dun,
does
dun.
that not sound fucking awesome right there alone?
Yeah, sounds crazy.
It's kind of like a one-man face-off.
Sort of.
You piece of shit. No, you piece of shit.
Yeah, but
First.
in like it gets crazy. Like episode 8 was this last episode, and it was just off the hook. Like I was like, man, this is nuts. I can't wait to see how this ends.
Well, just from the synopsis, it sounds like it's going to start getting crazy.
yeah. Yeah, but I mean, there's familiar people that you'll see in this. I mean, obviously the two main stars, Joel and Jennifer, you
The
know,
main characters.
yeah, you'll be into them. And this Alice Braga, I think you'll recognize her. Hopefully, I didn't butcher her last name. And then Jimmy Simpson, he's always like that sleazy, dirtbag kind of guy.
Right.
but he plays, and that's the thing. You get to see people play a different set of people, I guess you could say different
Right.
characters, same character, but different characters, if that makes sense.
Right.
But man, I'm loving this show, dude. I'm loving it. I can't recommend it, more. Just get Apple Plus TV and watch that shit.
Watch that shit.
Think of it as renting a movie, $7.99, $6.99, whatever it is, and cancel it right after you're done watching it. And of course, watch Ted Lasso and
Well, I mean, you can
For All
cancel it and then it'll
Mankind.
just carry it to the next billing cycle. No cut off.
Yeah, For All Mankind's a great show too.
Yeah.
I think Apple Plus TV has the best sci-fi shows. So I haven't watched any. Well, I mean, I've watched a couple of other stuff on there too, and it was really good too.
I feel like they don't get the notoriety like Hulu, Netflix.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's advertising or if they're
Right.
just depending on everybody with an Apple phone to watch it. I don't get it.
And there's times when I've seen like trailers for shows from like Apple. I'm like, man, that looks really fucking good.
Yeah,
And there's other shows I'm like, but like almost
The-
every time Apple one.
the quality of these shows is just top notch.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's Apple and people don't give a shit about Apple.
Yeah, it could be.
Really?
Well, except for everybody with an Apple iPhone that
Yeah.
worships Apple.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good, man. Watch it. That's all I can say is watch it. We ready to move on?
I forgot to mention Ripley. We just talked about that one.
Oh yeah.
Ripley's been one of my favorites.
What have you been watching?
Not much.
Come on, talking to the
I
microphone.
watched Animal House last night.
You watched Animal House? Anything else you watch? Not getting in any shows? And,
No, got like a
I
comfort.
usually get off of work and I usually bring a change of clothes and take a walk downtown.
yeah,
That's about it. Yeah, the time I get home about 6 or 7.
not even watching Pornhub.
No.
What kind of life are you living over there?
The sin-free life.
See-
Clean living.
The
So
clean living.
You watched Animal House.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. Okay. Okay.
That's the
Well,
last movie I watched.
okay. So
Gonna put you on double secret probation, buddy.
we are going to move on to the second to last thing here segment, and we're going to talk about The Boys season 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Season 4.
But we're 4 episodes in.
That woke garbage.
Very woke garbage, but it's getting a lot of bad reviews, and I gotta say, I feel like it's unwarranted.
Well,
And we know who's complaining about this, people that they're making fun of.
right.
And I
And
just
it's
want to
hilarious.
say, you like the first 3 seasons, but you don't like this season. Could you not see that they've always been making fun of everybody, as
Yeah.
far as like political agendas and stuff like that goes?
Yeah.
Yeah. But once they make fun of you, it's not right. It's not right.
Right.
They can't take it. But yeah, I mean, this season is very heavy on the Homelander fascist
Yeah.
theme. They kind of sprinkled it in at the end of the last season, and they're going like full on like cult,
Yeah. It's always been political driven, but this really amps it up.
Oh
This
man.
season does.
And, I started watching this season of The Boys, and there's you get your first look at Mother's Milk and the rest of the boys, and I'm like, who the fuck is this playing Mother's Milk? And I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, that's not the same guy.
That dude like lost weight and cut his beard. That's the only thing I can think of why he looks so weird.
There's no way that that's the same guy.
No way.
So I Google,
Yeah.
boys recast, and a slew of articles popped up, and it was like, no, they did not recast him. And he changed it. He said he changed his diet, stuff he didn't need, because he was jacked, man.
Well, you can tell his face looks sunken in.
Yeah, his
Like,
face
he
is
looks-
like, you
yeah.
can tell he's lost weight, and
Yeah.
he's got a little bit of that excess skin going on.
And he don't have the beard. He's got some kind of like stash kind of. goofy
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, he looks completely different.
I was like looking. I'm like, did they recast the guy who plays MM? I'm like, Mother's Milk. I'm like, no.
Yeah, dude. I was just like, I saw it, and literally I had to pause and take like a half hour to myself and figure out what is going on with this dude. Is he sick? Or,
What's going on?
Did they ask him to do this? It was weird. But man,
Is this the season where one of the lead women had like the cosmetic surgery or whatever
Yeah.
that everybody was kind
Yeah,
of up in arms
yeah.
about?
Starlight.
oh, did
'Cause
she?
Well, if you look at season 1 and look at season now, she had work done, and like a lot of people criticized her because like she looks different.
Oh, she does. Yeah. I didn't know she had. I just assumed that I mean, obviously, you assume they had some work done,
I mean, it's
I was just curious how noticeable it was.
but I was like, did she lose a lot of weight or
well, it's
something?
less-
What's going
well,
on here?
she's, like she had that like girl next door baby doll look, and it's now like super like supermodel tight and high cheekbone.
Yeah, get rid
She's
of the
still very
cheeks.
attractive, but she don't have that like innocent girl next door look to her, basically.
There's your hawk tooth joke of the day.
Dude, that never gets old.
This was killing me.
So I'm behind. What the hell you get arrested for?
DUI.
Drunk
I
driving.
didn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was wondering because then you sent that one TikTok when Justin Timberlake gets pulled over and the guy's dancing.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing was like the arresting officer didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Because he was a younger guy, whatever.
So here's the before and after. Like
Yeah.
this is him in the previous seasons. This is him now. You're telling me that's the same guy?
Yeah.
There's no way that's
He
the
almost-
same guy.
He almost looks.
He almost
completely
looked like an
different.
AI version of himself.
Right,
in the same
right.
There you go. Yeah.
That's probably why you noticed it, because it's like he doesn't look a lot different, but he looks weirdly different enough.
Yeah.
that your
I think
brain
they
can't-
killed him and replaced him
Yeah.
with somebody.
Yeah.
Reptilian shapeshifter.
Yeah.
There you go. That fits in with the conspiracy theory in this season.
Yeah. It's just I don't know.
I mean,
You can't tell me that's the same guy.
it doesn't know because like he came on screen. I was like, who the fuck's this guy? I'm like,
Right.
that's not the same guy.
He probably went vegan.
Probably did.
And that's all we can suspect about that. Okay. By the way, did you see this? Hold on. I'll put it up on the screen again.
It's shit. Rest in peace, Tom.
Whenever somebody dies on like The Boys, people always post these like in memory
Oh, yeah.
things, and I just crack the fuck up. Like, look at this stepfather, teacher, patriot.
People get so pissed, dude. Like the comments, man. Some people did make a legitimate argument with like one part of the story where they kind of threw someone in, which is kind of like they didn't really build up this person as like kind of like a backstory, which it's fair. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I understand the criticisms that people have about this season.
Yeah.
You know, as far as the love story between Frenchie and some random dude that just shows up. We have no idea who he is. You know, he's just there. And they just abandoned, you know, what we thought was going to be a love story between him and what's her face.
Kimiko.
Yeah. And there's this other girl popping up now, and she's got PTSD, but she doesn't remember some of these things. Like, it's just kind of a little bit all over the place.
Yeah.
That being said, there's still some over the top shit that goes on, and
yeah.
I'm still highly entertained.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it's fantastic.
like there's one episode where she jumps out of a building, and you know her arm's kind of gone, and it's just this little baby arm
Yeah.
coming up. But man, and then there's another part where she gets hit with a what is that, like a tear gas can or
Well,
something?
it's like basically like a 20 round like grenade.
Yeah, it was something.
Yeah.
I didn't catch what it was, but I mean it
It fucked her up.
blows her in half.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's
She's back at it.
there's still the things that you love about The Boys that are still in there. And did you notice they mentioned Gen V?
Yeah.
In one of the news segments. I
Yeah.
thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Thought that was cool that they're playing in a Gen
Yeah.
V now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it, and you know, I don't know how many episodes we're gonna get this year.
I think it's probably gonna be like 6 or 8. I think they're gonna go. I think to season 5.
Yeah, they just announced the next season's the
I
last.
think, yeah, okay, that would be the last one. Yeah.
So-
So it's curious how they're going to end it because I don't. So the last season, the certain character dies and he's back in this season, but it's a replacement.
Yeah,
So which is pretty funny.
yeah, it is.
But man,
Is it pretty funny?
yeah,
It is. There's some funny parts.
still I can't get past the first like 2 or 3 episodes of season 3 of how wild that shit was.
Oh yeah. Season 3 was just generally pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, this one isn't on the same level. I mean, but there is different. It's on the same level as far as like absurd kills.
Yeah. Well, I
But-
guess they had an interview with Jack Quaid and someone else. They said there's like one of the grossest moments is going to be in like this season. That
Okay.
tops season 3, which I don't know how.
I don't know how much like.
Dude, that like the whole like soup sex party. Like
Yeah, I don't know how much like gross it can get after that. How much more gross it can get.
when Eminem got shot with something, and he's like, "Come here, you big black bear."
Yeah. That was hilarious.
Oh man, you melted my cock ring.
Yeah, so I mean, if you like stuff like that, The Boys is right up your alley. But
I mean, and Carl Urban, man, it's
Once-
Billy Butcher.
Yeah, Butcher is just great, man.
Boy, you cunt.
Even if he is sick and dying, still the guy.
He is the man.
But yeah, some people aren't hot about it. I'm just gonna say this: have an open mind, and if you are part of the MAGA crew, don't be offended. Maybe you should
Don't be a snowflake.
Don't be a snowflake, but laugh at yourself.
Yeah, I don't quite get that. You know, there's a lot of criticisms about them making fun of other people and them calling those people snowflakes. But then, you know, a show does it and it's this is a terrible show. Not watching it. I can't watch
1 star out of 5. It sucks.
Yeah.
I don't get how, you know, like shows like South Park. Like South Park makes fun of everybody.
Right.
You can't laugh at your own self. I don't know.
Well, I saw reviews on Rotten Tomatoes where people were leaving like half-star reviews.
Oh, yeah, review bombing it. And all
Yeah, I mean, that is not. There's no way that The Boys is that bad. No. It's never been that bad. It never will be that bad. And people who leave a half star, that's just somebody that's salty that they're getting cracked on in some form of subliminal messaging through the show.
Well, boo-hoo.
Even though it's not subliminal, it's right out in the open. They're pretty much cracking on these people nonstop.
Yeah. And then if you're a fan of Supernatural, there's a couple of characters from the Supernatural show who's in this. And the second one is, I took a second because has a different look to him, but it's pretty hilarious.
I'm a little disappointed that we haven't seen more of what's his face from Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Yeah.
Well, there's like a thing.
Yeah, I get that, but I still want to see more of him. Like, come on.
He walks in there, he's like Billy Butcher. I'm like Jeffrey Dean fucking Morgan.
He's so fucking good,
cool,
dude.
Man.
How is he not making like blockbusters after blockbusters?
He's like so like cool and like this like one of those cool guys. Like he should be making like.
He's married to Hillary Burton, I think.
Yeah,
the girl from One Tree Hill.
I think so. Yeah,
but they own a farm in like upstate New York, I guess.
I think him and I think Norma Reedus has a place nearby him because I guess they're real close.
But he's so fucking cool, like you said.
He's just epitome of cool.
I see you guys are getting ready. Are we ready for our final segment?
Sure.
PBS, he's so in tune he can't even answer.
Mm-hmm.
I was just looking up Jeffrey Dean Morgan, like some other stuff.
Rob was looking up who was married to who and has a farm and where it's located.
We have to make Rob go first. That way he doesn't
I was gonna go first. Yeah.
That way he doesn't like secretly change anything.
You're like, oh, that was a good one. I like that.
And then
too.
Chuckles here has offered. We asked him, let's say, can you do 15 of your favorite movies? He's like, I don't think nobody's ever asked me that before. I don't think I can do it. But what are you going to give us?
I'll give you 5.
Okay. So he'll be the bonus content.
Do you have to get the pew pew out and hold it to his head? Like, do it.
Nah, I wouldn't
say
do
the
that.
top 5. Okay.
Don't mess it up.
I'll go. So this is no particular order. So
just for the background, this has been going around TikTok. I don't know if it started with Kevin for the Real for Real podcast, but he's the one that I see everybody kind of like stitching and everything. So the idea is they want to go around on Film Talk and kind of give your 15 favorites. So
yeah, we were like, well, we can do that.
I thought it'd be like a cool segment. We can chop it up and put it on TikTok too. So Robzilla, 15 favorites.
Robzilla's 15 favorite movies.
In no order. So we're gonna go Dog Soldiers, one of the best werewolf movies ever made.
Oh. Man, now Rob's got me rethinking. I'm about to like hurry up and change mine.
So, and of course, this is for me, my boy Waddell Friday, Ice Cube, Chris.
Okay.
Tucker. Hands down one of the best.
That's a good one to have in there.
The amount of references we do in that movie is hilarious. So I'm gonna go with the original Saw. I remember seeing that in the theaters, and at that time it was something very new, and it was the reactions that was in the movie theater when I saw it was wild. So,
you damn dirty hillbilly.
I know.
I have a feeling that would be a hot sauce favorite if he was.
Oh, it's definitely a hot sauce one.
So I went a little bit different. So I went Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite of the Curse of Thorn of series. So that's my favorite. Saving Private Ryan.
Busting out some Spielberg here.
Yeah. The Faculty. It Follows. Love It Follows. Now this one, it's near and dear to my heart. District 9. I've always loved that movie. District 9.
District 9 was really good.
Yeah,
it really is. I rewatched that one not too long ago. I need to rewatch my who directed all those.
Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah,
I've got
like the Blomkamp box. I need to rewatch.
And Choppy is really good.
What did you say?
Blumkamp.
Blumkamp?
I mispronounced it. Sorry. Then I have Friday the 13th. Jason Lives. That's my favorite.
Okay,
Friday the
part
13th.
6, I believe.
Yep.
That's a good one. Good one.
So I have-
PBS is like motherfucking rock.
So I have Man on Fire. That's me and my dad's favorite
Oh.
movie with Denzel.
Some Denzel. Okay.
Okay.
One of the best movies
What's
ever.
the little girl's name in that movie?
Dakota Fanning.
Yeah,
There we go.
Dakota
Dakota
Fanning. You know, today I was looking at it in my list. I was like, I don't have any Denzel. This is
Oh,
sad.
yeah, yeah.
This
That
is
part
sad.
roasted me out when the dude's hand got blown off.
Yeah.
Yeah. that was great.
Well, there's some great one-liners too. He's like, "I wish you had more time."
Last
I
wish.
mean, like some of that stuff's really good. I have Slither, James Gunn's Slither.
That's a great movie.
It's
man.
fantastic,
Underrated.
underrated. So then I have also Heat, one of the best
Heat.
movies ever made.
I'm surprised
That's
by this.
like-
I might have the most generic list.
This is a pretty.
And then I
I don't know
have,
what I was expecting from Bravo. This isn't quite it.
Yeah.
He's definitely all over the place.
I'm gonna have to. I have to do it. I saw this in theaters. Old school. Will Ferrell, Luke Wilson.
I mean, I
Christopher
was like
Vaughn.
teeter-tottering whether I should put that in my list.
I was. It's a teeter-totter between that and like it's basically like that Step Brothers and the other guys. It's
Yeah.
like those top three to pick. And then of course I had to go old school. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Love that movie.
It's really so hard to narrow this down to
It-
15.
It really is.
When it comes
Trust
down to
me.
15, you have to rewatchability, you
Yeah.
know.
That's what I'm thinking too, because I was thinking like the originals like Halloween and stuff, but it's just like trying to move past that. So, and the last one, still one of the best zombie movies ever made, Train to Busan.
Okay. I'm really surprised by that. I mean, I guess I didn't know what to expect from Rob, but
some
I-
some of those are definitely Robzilla movies. Like he talks
Yeah.
about Dog Soldiers every Halloween. Halloween 4 he talks about every Halloween. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just interesting.
all right.
It's my list.
Interesting is a good pick.
All right. So who wants to go next? You want me to go next?
That's up to you. You can go next. I'll go next.
We'll save you for last.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because yours is going to probably be the most interesting.
Yes.
I don't know. I've got some pretty when I was looking at them, like there's not like a movie I'm going to have to explain to you because I think you will have heard of all of them if you haven't seen all
Yeah.
of them.
And I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with mine. I'm like, but I am going to make a change here.
okay.
I'm pivoting this one off.
Pivot.
Last
Pivot.
minute substitution.
Yes.
Like I said, I changed mine like 6 times. Like I took a couple things off and I re-added it, and
Just because it wouldn't feel right with me having an Evil Dead autographed, poster up there and not put an Evil Dead movie on here.
yeah, you got to.
So, all right, I'm just going to start off with the no-brainers here. Predator. I mean,
It's a it's a
Son of a
no-brainer.
bitch.
it's all, like I watched that movie with my dad, when I was younger, and every time it comes on, I stop what I'm doing and I watch it.
Does
Yes.
this
Sometimes I throw it on because I'm like, I just feel like I need a Predator day,
does this make it your favorite Arnold?
Ooh. Yeah, probably. I'd probably say that. And then, all right, next up, I'm going to go Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Of course.
Uh,
Classic.
It's like one of the best action movies ever made, and it
Yeah.
still holds up today. Still.
If I didn't have to narrow it down, that would definitely be on a favorites list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Still my favorite Tarantino movie.
It's amazing.
it's not my favorite Tarantino movie,
It's
but it's like, that movie got me into like liking movies on an obsessive level.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
and the cast.
I watched that movie, and I think you were with me when we were younger. I went to like Walmart or something that was open 24 hours, and I bought that. I bought Pulp Fiction, and I think I might have bought my next movie. Which
I still have my when Reservoir Dogs came out on DVD, you could buy it. They had like the different slip covers.
yeah,
And I still have my Steve Buscemi Mr. Pink slip cover.
nice. I mean, Steve Buscemi's so great in that.
Well, the cast, anyways, and that's
The
fantastic.
torture scene. I mean, everything about that movie is just perfect.
I would. That's the kind of movie I would like Tarantino to make like one more of. Just something a little more simple than some of the stuff he's been doing.
Next up is probably my favorite Tarantino movie. Can you guess what it is?
Once upon a
Jackie
time.
Brown, Hollywood.
No, Jackie Brown.
Okay, yeah, that's. I mean, that's a
Jackie
good one.
Brown's just so good, and it's one of those movies I gotta stop. If I see it on, I watch it. And sometimes I just fire it up, listen to the soundtrack to that movie. I mean, it's just so great. It's a great cast, man. And it's like nonchalantly good. You know what I mean? Like it's just so just something about it that just grabs you, and you're like, there's nothing like spectacular about this movie, but it's just so goddamn good. The dialogue's there, you know, the music that they play in certain scenes. You're like, I'm really feeling this movie.
I feel like that's a lot of people's favorite Tarantino or most underrated Tarantino and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Next up, this has to be on your list too. Interstellar.
Maybe.
But I mean,
movie.
I don't think a movie's ever grabbed my emotions quite like Interstellar has. Well, you know, maybe a couple others, but you know, how many times did we go see that in the theater in IMAX?
Right.
And you know, had to buy the special edition Blu-ray that came with the
film.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you where that film thing went. You know, but
still got mine sitting on the shelf with my sad Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I had it for a while, and that's all that mattered to me, I guess. But okay, so this next one's kind of like 2 in 1.
Okay.
But Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and 2. Iconic superhero movies, and you know, they're better than a lot of the Marvel movies today.
Oh yeah.
You know, the what it comes down to me on this list is rewatchability, you know. And I have favorite movies that just, you know, might have had an impact on me in some ways, but I don't rewatch them. So they didn't make this list, I guess you could say. But yeah, Spider-Man 1 and 2, just great. Tobey Maguire, I mean, they just embodied Spider-Man for me. That one
in the Marvel universe.
You just like thinking back to Nickelback.
Exactly. And that song was great, dude. That song was great.
Dude, they could stay rich off that song.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I mean, just the hype around, I mean, it's one of those things where you just had to be there. Like, we had never really had a successful superhero movie, and
our time anyways.
They've fucking nailed this one, dude. It was so great. And I couldn't tell you how many times I probably saw it in theater like 6 times, and loved every minute of it. And you know, to this day, I just bought the digital pack with all the Spider-Man movies.
Okay.
So,
I mean, you know, part 2 especially is, I feel like it's on a lot of people's best comic book movies, action movies, whatever.
Definitely,
hands down.
And I mean, they just he nailed everything about those movies. And Doc Ock, I mean, could you get a better guy to play Doc Ock?
Alfred
Molina.
He was so great, man. And the first one, they kind of got the love story right between him and MJ, and then they kind of fucked it up after that. That'd be like my only complaint about that, because you know, MJ would never turn her back on Spider-Man or Peter Parker, in my opinion. But moving along here, the very first Halloween, rewatch it every year.
It's classic.
I mean, it's the movie that got me into horror movies.
Yeah, Johnny Carpenter.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Moving along, Clerks.
Oh yeah.
You know, my
my
favorite movies are all up there. So,
I kind of still think, in its way, Clerks is Kevin Smith's best movie.
Yeah, I don't know if it might be. Yeah,
I feel like kind of like everything after was, because Clerks was so good that everything else almost gets overhyped.
Yeah, I'm a big Chasing Amy fan, so I was like, I didn't want to throw 2 of these in and kind of leave something out, and that's what I made a big change, because I had Chasing Amy on there.
See, I love Dogma.
Yeah, Dogma's really good too, but I mean, once again, like, I wish people could watch Dogma, but you just can't.
I'd love to rewatch it.
Yeah, it was on Prime. I can't find anywhere.
No, it's not even. It's not available on print or anything.
Old Harvey got us on that one.
Yeah, that fucking prick.
Me and my friends in high school, we loved watching Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh my god,
that one was just like the one.
That was a great movie there. The last one was pretty good too.
Yeah.
So they kind of paid homage to all the movies in some, you know, shape or form throughout that movie. Evil Dead 2. Got to put Evil Dead in there, you know.
Oh yeah.
I always watch an Evil Dead, you know, once a year, and I'm a big fan of Bruce. I mean, got him up there on the mantle, but I do enjoy Evil Dead 2, I think, a little bit more than Evil Dead.
Yeah,
just because it gets a little crazy, and there's some fun parts in Evil Dead 2, even though it's pretty much the same movie.
I felt like I put that on one afternoon not too long ago.
Ghostbusters. Gotta have.
I was waiting on Ghostbusters. I figured Ghostbusters.
You gotta have Ghostbusters on there. It's one of the best movies ever made. GoldenEye.
Okay.
I mean, I gotta have GoldenEye in there. That's like a staple of my childhood.
I saw GoldenEye in the theater. I remember that one.
Yep, saw it in the theater.
Played that damn game for 1,000,000 hours.
Oh yeah. And I
Yeah.
watch GoldenEye every year before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So I mean, it is what it is.
I
You
need
know.
to
I
revisit
mean,
that
who
one.
wasn't raised on GoldenEye in our period of time? You know what I mean? On 64.
All right, next one I'm going, The Matrix. It's such
I had that on my list. But I was like, I'll take it off.
that's like one of those movies where I think of like I watched that like through high school all the time, and I was obsessed with The Matrix. I loved everything about it. Like it was just such a cool movie.
I remember going to the 50 Cent Theater, seeing that. I don't know. Between that and Lake Placid was like the two
Yeah.
movies playing I watched nonstop.
And it was so, I mean, for its time, it was like cutting edge. You know, they
Yeah.
did the bullet time and all that. I mean, it was great.
The first time I watched The Matrix, it was on a bus on our middle school Washington, D.C. trip on a little 12-inch television.
Oh, wow.
And I was still kind of blown away. But like, oh, okay, I'm definitely gonna have to come back to this one.
He's like watching. He's like,
Circle back.
Is this the air I'm breathing right now?
I remember I got gift cards to Media Play one year, and I went and bought it on VHS. And I had to go stay at my grandma's house because my mom was going out of town for the weekend, and my dad was, you know, doing something. And I remember watching it. And my grandma was like, "What the hell is this?" You know, the part where they like jump up and
It's the
float
future.
across the room and kick.
It's the future, Grandma.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it, Grammy.
you're in the Matrix right now. We're gonna work on getting you unplugged.
We're gonna get you unplugged, Grandma. We're gonna show you the real world.
Did
Okay,
she ever like get into the movie or?
no, it was not for her. Dumb and Dumber, classic comedy.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've watched this movie, and I still quote the movie to this day. Yeah, I mean, it's just how it is. Every once in a while, you'll hear a Dumb and Dumber quote, and you'll see something, and you'll think of Jim Carrey doing something stupid in that movie.
I haven't rewatched that one in a while, but that's like classic 90s.
Oh yeah,
Oh, he's getting choked. Harry, your hands are freezing.
Yeah.
Or there's always the
just go, buddy.
or the what are the chances of us getting together? Like 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, more like 1 in a million. So you're telling me there's a chance?
You guys drinking on Grandpa's cough medicine?
Was the Harlan? What's his name? Harlan Williams?
Yeah.
He's like, get the hell out of
that
here.
great scene.
You pumpkin pie haircut freak.
You hear Jim Carrey, Tic Tac, sir.
I still think about when I'm driving down the road, like, look how fast I'm running, Harry.
I mean, and everybody remembers the bird, you know, giving the dead bird.
Pretty bird.
Yeah. Okay, so my last two here. First up is The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh, okay.
Gotta say, it's the most rewatched. It was either this or Step Brothers, but I gave this one the nod because I just have such fond memories of it. And, you know, I still to this day quote The 40-Year-Old Virgin. I mean, I quote Step Brothers a lot too, but, you know, what was it? Like, she was a hoe, faux show, you know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I still say faux show all the time.
Squirting.
Yeah, she was hurting for a squirting.
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
Yeah,
I was thinking
I
about-
say that nonstop to this day.
Paul Rudd and his big box of porn.
Yeah.
No, I don't want your big box of porn.
You know how I know you're gay.
You
Yeah.
like Coldplay.
Yeah,
you
'cause
like
you listen to Coldplay.
I still think the whole wax scene was so funny because that's the reaction to it. It's
Oh
so
yeah,
funny.
him yelling Kelly
This is-
Clarkson and all
This is
that.
not a good look for me.
And last but not least, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
It's up there for one of the most rewatched movies too. So I mean,
Is
I
it
had
Star
to
Wars
put
4 or 5.
it. I just said Star Wars, sir. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, just ask me. Just ask me.
The first Star Wars, you know,
Yeah.
it's got to be the best, right? I mean, I guess.
Well, technically,
A
Empire's the
lot of
best.
people's going to say, you know,
But I
Empire
mean,
Strikes
Star
Back
Wars is
and-
Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's Star Wars.
right.
Star Wars.
You're up, PBS. You're up. It's your
Batter
time.
up.
It's your time to shine.
Okay. So like I said, I just kind of went through my letterbox and went around the house and look at what I had and like these are going to skew toward movies that I've probably liked for a long time because they're like you said, it's kind of about rewatchability.
Yeah.
Generally, a favorite movie is a movie that I can rewatch a lot, or sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a movie you just watch like once every now and again, and you're like that's good, but I don't want to ruin it or whatever. But
Yeah.
rewatchability does play a lot for me. So I'm going to start. My number 15 is one that Robzilla mentioned that I was kind of surprised about. And this one kind of came on and off my list at number 15. I was going to leave it at 16 as like an honorable mention, but I put in there Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Okay.
I
I never got into those movies.
well, you see, it was in high school. It's the first time I'd seen it.
Me too.
Somewhere around there, BBC America became a channel on like DirecTV, and they showed like Monty Python's Flying Circus, the series, which I really got into. But back then it was kind of hard to see, so you kind of had to settle for the movies, which you could at least find on VHS or DVD. And it's one of those movies that's kind of like, if somebody else liked that movie, you kind of knew something about them. You knew something about their sense of humor. You knew they liked British stuff.
Yeah.
So that you kind of knew about their sense of humor. They might be into something like Doctor Who back then, even though that was still kind of hard to find.
Well, it's almost like Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends?
When my friends and I did like an English project in school, we used like Monty Python references for everything. So it was just like one of those movies where like if you liked Holy Grail and somebody else liked Holy Grail, you were kind of dialed in on a certain level. Number 14, my second favorite movie, probably like the last 20-ish years. And I know this is one that you both love, Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, shit. Get fucked.
Terrible.
Now, if you had said the original Mad Max, I've been fine. I like the originals. I just don't like Tom Hardy's interpretation of Mad Max.
Those are movies that I've liked for quite a while. The original, especially 1 and 2. But I don't know if I put them as favorites. But I definitely like them.
Yeah.
Did you see the new one yet?
Still haven't seen Furiosa yet.
How we got to go?
Was it? She's got like 30 words.
Yeah, they said she doesn't have many words at all in it.
That's fine.
That's fine.
George Miller doesn't need
That's fine.
any lines. But yeah, I did rewatch that recently, and I just still blown away by how much I enjoy every single second of it. And I enjoy
as you stare at me.
I enjoy your 2-star review every time I look at it, Rob.
I didn't ruin that movie experience for you, did I?
No.
Because we went and saw it, and I was just sitting there eating my popcorn, like, come on.
He was very meh at the end of it. And I was like, wow. So number 14, number 13, my favorite movie of the last 20 whatever years, Christopher Nolan's Interstellar.
So good.
That's another one,
Fantastic movie.
Just like start to finish. I'm like, wow. Just wow.
Yep.
I remember I went and I snuck off to see it by myself at the AMC Lenox. And literally, as soon as it was over, I got out of the Lenox and I walked around the corner of the Barnes & Noble to buy the soundtrack CD. And while I was doing that, I called you or messaged you. And because I knew you did want to see it too. I'm like, we have to go see this.
Yeah.
I will go see it like again tomorrow if you want to. We have to go see this.
Did they ever have like a different millimeter for Interstellar, like they did with like the Hateful Eight and like 16 millimeter and all that?
He just did. I mean,
Okay.
Nolan's always done the theatrical stuff. They had
Okay.
70 millimeter IMAX and all that stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they did that for Interstellar.
Yeah. And that was just like I said, it's like one of my favorite movies of the last 20 of the 20s, whatever you want to call it. Another one, and it got down to number 12. It's kind of a late addition that I didn't think about to the end. Karate Kid, starring Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita.
I've seen Karate Kid be on a lot of people's lists.
Yeah. I love Karate Kid and Karate Kid 2. Usually if I'm watching one, I'm watching both of them. It's like an afternoon
A
kind
lot
of
of people
watch.
didn't like the third for some reason. It was okay.
Daniel kind of turns into an asshole for no
Yeah.
reason. And yeah, it's just not quite as good. It goes kind of darker.
He went full contact in the third one.
It's just not as good. But if I'm watching Karate Kid, I'll probably watch Karate Kid 2. It's a sports movie, high school movie, coming of age movie, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones that when I watched it for the first time after not too long a while ago, I'm like, you're always worried if the movie is going to be a movie you liked when you were younger was good or not. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're, it holds up. 100% holds up. Good movie. Number 11, Silence of the Lambs. This is like one of my kind of strange comfort movies, a movie about Buffalo Bill who skins women and Hannibal Lecter who eats people. But
Put the lotion in the basket.
It's like it's the 90s to me in a movie. It's the 90s. It's like reminds me of X-Files. It's got like that sort of gray palette, the sedans, the FBI. I kind of wanted to get Michael Mann's Manhunter on here somewhere because I love Manhunter too. It's one of my favorite movies, and it's the first Hannibal Lecter movie.
Yeah.
But Silence of the Lambs is just, it's just something I revisit all the time.
It's a good movie.
The first time I saw it, my mom and her sister were watching it, and I was playing with my sister and my cousin. Like the kids are playing in the other room, the parents are in the other room watching their R-rated movie.
And you're like Michael Myers in the background.
Right. And you walk into the room for something, and you just kind of like slowly walk out, like you're not watching the movie, but you are. Kind of like, get out of here. This isn't a kid's movie. Number 10. John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
Such a good movie.
I was going to get Carpenter in there somewhere.
No one talks about it either.
I feel like that's
underrated.
been coming up more now.
It has been. Yeah. I've seen more people talk about it lately, and I'm glad you got around to watching it and liked it. It is. I always tell people it's my favorite Carpenter. I could have put Big Trouble in Little China in here, Halloween. I love all those too, but Prince of Darkness is kind of the one that stays with me.
I feel like that's like my second. I still have a heart for Big Trouble in Little China, but I think that's the second one.
John, I could fill my top 10 favorites with John Carpenter movies.
Yeah,
depending on
Yeah,
the day.
definitely.
Yeah, that can be a whole.
I tried
list.
to like space things out. Like I
Yeah.
didn't want to have like 3 sets of this guy or
But he's just a favorite filmmaker, easy. And like I said, just that's the one I kind of return to, and it's a little underrated, and people kind of been showing it love over the last few years. So I like that. Number 9, The Monster Squad.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that was going to be
my
on your
mother's
list.
favorite movie. That's
And these
one
are
of my
in
favorite, too.
order for you, right?
Yeah, they're not like, I didn't sit down and like think about it too deeply.
I know Indiana Jones is coming
Oh,
up.
that's got to be in there.
We'll see about that. But yeah, like I said, I made the list pretty easily for the most part. And I just kind of like, well, let me shift this around and shift that around. But I grew up watching Monster Squad. It was hard to find for the longest time. And then finally the DVD came out and all that. And it's just almost an annual rewatch. And part of the reason I love it is all of the Universal monster references: Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Gilman, The Mummy, all that stuff. So it's sort of like my movie that says, not only do I like this movie, but I love those monster movies.
Right.
Number 8, Clue, the movie.
Okay.
I took that one off, and I just watched that literally the other day.
Yeah.
I watched that with Tracy. She's like, I don't know why you love this movie so much. I said, what
What is wrong with you? Divorce.
Yeah, I was like, divorce. Get the fucking papers.
Clue is one of those. I love Clue, the board game. It was my favorite board game growing up. I still remember like renting it, seeing it on the shelf for the first time at the video store. Like, what? There's a Clue game? Movie? Like, what the hell?
Tim Curry, baby, the butler.
It's one of my comfort movies, like sick day movies, funny. One of my favorite comedies. It's one of those movies that I actually couldn't watch for a while because I just watched it so much. And that kind of goes like back to Monty Python. It was one of those movies that I watched and quoted with people just so much that I was almost sick of it for a while. So I only watch it so often.
That still has the best scene when like the scene Telegram Girl, she's singing and then she gets shot and they shut the door really hard. I don't know if that's supposed to be funny, but it is to me.
Such passion between the two of you over this movie.
That's a good one. That's my number 8. Number 7, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. The Back to the Future trilogy.
It's fair. I'm
fair.
allowing
That's fair.
groupings,
This is I actually put just the first movie because I think the first movie is the best movie. But part 2 is the one I watched the most as a kid.
Yeah.
And I think as an adult, part 3 really is kind of like underrated or slept on a little bit. And I just if I'm watching one, there's a good chance I'm going to spend the day watching all 3 of them. And it's just I still have my VHS for Christmas from whatever 1990 whatever. Just absolute favorite series. Maybe my favorite trilogy of all time.
Okay.
Number 6, Batman. 1989. This is
Excellent choice, sir.
This is another one where there was times where I watched it so much that I almost got sick of it because I just quoted the whole thing, quoted it with my friends. I've still got the VHS that my grandmother owned that I watched it on. I just watched it so much. It's still maybe my favorite like superhero comic movie. A lot of people have been talking about Batman Returns because it was like the 35th anniversary recently. And a lot of people say that's like the best Batman movie ever. And I like it too, but the first Batman is the one I always come back to. Batman, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Joker, his henchman, Bob. It's Gotham, everything.
It's really hard to beat Jack Nicholson's Joker. Yeah. It really is. Never hit a man. Would you hit a man with glasses? Would you?
And I mean, never rubber.
One of the best soundtracks to a movie.
Some Prince, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can't beat it.
My favorite part is where he takes the gun out of his pants.
Yeah.
Come and get me.
Or he gets punched in the face and he like spits out like the chattering teeth.
I always loved it when they walked in. Was it where were they having dinner or what? Were they like
at the museum?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, okay, the museum, and they're like painting on all this stuff. And that was great.
Like I said, that's just a classic movie. I just love so much. I've watched so many times. I'm almost sick of it at sometimes. Number 5, I got to get a shitty black and white movie in here, don't I? Casablanca.
Yeah, I'm surprised there hasn't been more.
Yeah,
it was what do they call it? Nut cutting time. Just had to pick what you wanted. And
yeah.
So number 5, Casablanca, just classic old Hollywood movie. Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, Michael Curtiz. It's just one of the all-time great movies. There's a reason people still watch it today. I want you to watch it, Robzilla.
Okay. Sure.
It's just like I said, that not as rewatched maybe as some of the other movies on my list, but it's just classic movie. Number 4, a movie that I don't generally put on favorites list because I assume like you don't have to mention it. This is everybody's favorite movies list. Jaws.
Okay. Yeah.
I rewatched Jaws like late one night last year or early this year, and I was just still blown away by it. Like this is a 5.5 star out of 5 movie. Like it's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's like a horror movie. It's like an adventure movie. Great John Williams score. Spielberg, the birth of the blockbuster.
You know what? I didn't put. I was gonna do this. I was gonna put E.T. on my favorite list.
That's
Totally fucking forgot about it.
Dude, there's like it's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard
it really
because
is hard.
You can easily make a 50 favorites, honestly.
So many of this is like how I'm feeling today.
Yeah.
Catch me next week and maybe I'll be in a different mood. Like
Right.
actually, I like
Exactly.
Completely
Like-
different set.
like I said with Silence of the Lambs, catch me on a different day and it's Manhunter. Catch me on a different day, it's a different Carpenter. You know, my top 3. These ones are probably generally my top 3 favorite movies, just in general. I don't think they change too much. Number 3, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones. Jaws might be like a slightly better movie, but you know, it's indie.
close, yeah.
It's you know,
Harrison's your guy.
yeah. I just that I grew up on that indie trilogy.
I
And
think
it's just-
everybody our age did.
Yeah.
And I
I
think-
still Temple of Doom is still my favorite.
They were on USA like every weekend.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like it's like every other day, like one
That and
movie
Star
or whatever.
Wars.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Just back to back.
Raiders and the first Star Wars were like my comfort movies back then. I just put them on like a Sunday afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I could have put on here with Temple of Doom. I loved Last Crusade as a kid, but for me, Raiders just kind of always beats them just a little bit. And it's just, like I said, I've owned it on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. I've seen it in the theater a couple of
Do
times.
you ever like the show? And then Jim
I'd like to watch it, but I think it might be on Disney Plus now. But like, it's been hard to find for a long time. And then Lucas kind of cut them up into like mini movies and got, you know, he did his Lucas thing.
Yeah.
And actually, the VHS trilogy that I got for Christmas in the 90s had an episode. It had an extra VHS tape that had one episode on it. So that's like the only one I've actually seen all the way through. But yeah, I'd like to check it out. Maybe if you want to get Disney Plus, just to check that out. Number 2, Sergio Leone's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Clint Eastwood, Eli Wallach, Lee Van Cleef, just insert Al Pacino. What a picture gif. I still remember like watching it on TCM for the first time, seen it at the Hyatt Theater, DVD, Blu-ray. Just love it. Hell of a movie, start to finish.
Okay.
Number 1, Harrison Ford makes the list again. Blade Runner.
I knew we weren't leaving without that movie
Yeah, I
being
knew
on
Blade
the
Runner
list.
was somewhere.
That's just sort of been my number 1 favorite for a long time, and it's just a movie that I remember tracking down on VHS back in the day, DVD. I've sort of seen it kind of like Carpenter's The Thing. It's a movie that's gone from like cult classic to just like kind of sci-fi classic.
Right.
And it's just one of my favorite movies. I could put it on like late at night when I get home and kind of fall asleep to it almost. And
I still love like Rucker Hauer in that movie.
Yeah.
I never got into Blade Runner.
I didn't either, but I still liked him as like kind of like a villain, anti-villain,
Yeah.
you would say.
I liked 2049, the sequel.
I was gonna say you like
Probably
that one
didn't get quite enough financial love, but I think a lot of people like both of them enough. That's my number 1.
All right. We've got our top 15 out of the way. Now it's time for the bonus
Top 5
portion of the show. Chuckles top 5.
All right, number 5. Definitely Braveheart. It's something me and my brother used to watch all the time this summer.
That's a good
We
one.
were kids. Yeah.
That's always a good movie.
Yeah, Braveheart was
That's
awesome.
another one that used to be like on TBS like every
Yeah.
weekend.
That and the
Freedom.
what was the other one? The Patriot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love the Patriot. That was good.
Mel Gibson killed it back in the day, man.
He really did until he became a racist.
Yeah.
Well, he was a racist then. He just was
He
fine
just
about
didn't. He
it.
just
Yeah.
wasn't vocal about it.
Probably number 4 is the Labyrinth.
Oh
Always love
yeah.
the stair scene.
I
and the
love that.
helping hands.
Hey, talking to
Always love the stair scene and the helping hands in the movie.
You
I
like,
was
you
like-
like David Bowie's bulge. So
Yeah, that was pretty famous.
Funny thing is, like, I was talking to my cousin. I said something about Labyrinth. He said, "That's your problem. Your mother lets you watch that. That's why you're fucked up." The caterpillar. No, not that way.
all right, so we got 2 down.
my sister liked that one quite a lot back in
All
the
right,
day.
3 is definitely Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh,
I love how it was based on a true story.
Dog in the Afternoon.
Dog
Dog
Day
Day
Afternoon.
some Al Pacino.
And it's
Don't think I've ever seen it.
a John Cazale that's about a bank robbery. so they get money for a guy to have a sex change. It was all true. It all happened, live, and they made all the movie that way. It was all everything was true.
Okay.
I've never seen that one all the way through. It's on my list.
I love, my favorite line is Al Pacino says in it, the guy's trying to talk about stopping the bank robbery. Al Pacino says, "Kiss me. I like being kissed when I'm getting fucked."
Oh, jeez.
With the Al Pacino voice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Number 2 is probably Casino.
Casino's
Yeah.
really good.
So Marty.
Dude,
Casino was good.
anything
It's a
with
long
Joe-
movie, man.
Anything with Joe Pesci getting pissed off and smacking someone is
I'm
always
still
a
not sure if
classic.
I've seen it all the way through because I
Yeah.
always see it on TV. And like you said,
Yeah.
it's just a long movie. I always miss some part of it.
You
put
get the
your-
gist of it.
You
You've
put your
seen
feet on the
everything.
fucking table.
Yeah, the cowboy, and then the part where they take the guy in the back.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right, they would take the guy in the back where they catch him cheating with his thing on his leg.
Yep. All right. So
Drum roll, number 1.
Without a doubt, Enter the Dragon by Bruce Lee.
There you
okay.
go.
All right.
It's always been my
My
favorite
man.
movie. I think the first time seeing that I was 14 years old. It's like, wow, this is
I've
amazing.
never watched
love it.
Enter
It's
the Dragon.
amazing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think even David Carradine said it. He's like, when it came out, he told everybody, you need to watch this.
Bruce Lee did all the choreography
Yep.
for the movie too.
Yep.
It was amazing.
Oh man.
Fine list, sir. Fine list.
What a good little episode we had here. An hour and a half, too. Good Lord.
Now I want to watch Enter the Dragon now.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got to watch. I've seen parts of Bruce Lee movies, but I've
watch
never
it.
watched one all the way through.
Mm.
So I just didn't have anybody that was into those movies that, or
Come on. Come on.
well, you weren't around back then,
I
you know, when I was a kid growing up when they were popular.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's say come
But-
down.
Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely, I don't know. That'd be a good thing to do one night.
Well, I
Have
mean,
a-
like me and him, we want to watch like the Shaw Brothers, the disc collection you got.
yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay, so this has been episode 187. My call to action, as always, same thing. Share the show, get somebody else into the show, and from there they'll get somebody else into the show. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the YouTube videos. Even the posts on our social media accounts, please like those because that helps us get back in the algorithm and helps people see the episode. So they can
Check us out on TikTok.
yeah, you can check us out on TikTok.
The algorithm is our God. Please help us. Don't make it a vengeful God. Make it love us.
Yes.
Put
Let
us in
people
the
see this so
algorithm.
we can grow and we can have more entertaining conversations, obviously. And content. If you want to share your favorite 15 movies with us, feel free, comment it on
Get
on the post on Facebook or X.
Like, share, and comment.
Yeah. So I mean, we value your comments and your feedback. So
Unless you're Robzilla.
unless you're Robzilla, everybody else is welcome to their opinion, but not Robzilla. So that's all we have. So as always, keep it sleazy.
Thanks for listening to the Sleazy Podcast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and remember, listen to Sleazy.